Well, hello and welcome to another playthrough of a Dominion campaign. And this time I figured it might be nice to showcase playing through the Rising Sun campaign. And I've done that already, as you can see, but it's been quite a while. So I thought I might as well record myself doing so. And yeah, without further ado, let's dive right into the first kingdom. I've already prepared all of the kingdom plot and opening stuff for it, as I have extracted all of the kingdoms anyways. But yeah, if you want to look at what it's about, you can do so over here. We have a lot of interesting and strong Rising Sun cards, and this one is a crossover Rising Sun base kingdom mainly by name, just because Remodel is the only base card. The rest is from Rising Sun, and also apart from the cards, we have two events and a prophecy. And one event is Gather, costing 7, and when you buy it, you gain a card costing exactly 3, 4, and 5. So super strong, probably going to pick up, I don't know, Aristocrat, Change, Goldmine, or Tea House later on. I'll get into the details of that. Sea Trade is an event costing 4, and then it will draw cards per action you have in play, and then you can trash up to that many cards. Also not too shabby. And notably also after 5 plays of Omen cards, Enlightenment, the Prophecy will trigger, and that means that when we play treasures during an action phase, which treasures become during action phases, instead of following their instructions, we get +1 card and +1 action. That will mean that we can play our coppers just as cantrips and cycle to the cards we want to have in play. Now, apart from those things, what does the kingdom have to offer? Well, we have a lot of good, great engine stuff. So I think if I remember correctly, this was quite fast when I played it. We have Change, which you can use to trash cards and gain more valuable cards, and you get the difference in money in debt. For example, you trash an estate and you can turn it into a tea house and you get 3 debt because the estate costs 2 and then tea house costs 5. Now overall, I think tea house is quite the key card here because it's non-terminal money and also it will trigger enlightenment. Once Enlightenment is active, we get to cycle through our deck for free, essentially, and we will find all of those tea houses and make great use of them. And we also have to note that Imperial Envoy and also Ronin, which are both great draw cards, might not be as viable as usual, just because the only plus action that we get is the first aristocrat we play. So per turn, we are limited to essentially 3 actions. And yeah, that just makes the Ronin and Imperial Envoy a bit weaker. Still, a Ronin might be worth going for, I'm not sure. Gold Mine is also strong. It can gain us golds for debt, and then we can change those golds into provinces, which essentially makes a province cost a terminal action and drawing change and the gold and 6 debt. But also, of course, we can first use the gold to buy stuff one turn and then only the next turn properly change it. And that, yeah, certainly sounds like something. Artist might also come in handy as non-terminal draw. And as for trashing, since there is since there is enlightenment on the horizon with Tea House and River Shrine, or mainly Tea House being very likely to trigger early on, we're not required to trash our coppers that heavily, so I think just going for change should be enough. And yeah, overall, maybe let's look at the kingdom plot first before we go to the openings, just so you have it as well. Yeah, there are no attacks and no alt VP in this kingdom. Although, yeah, I don't know. Will due to enlightenment and that kind of stuff, it will be rather fast. And opening wise, yeah, I think That's what I was hinting at. I think just going for change instead of River Shrine is a tiny bit better, as you can change your estates into tea houses, hopefully, and that should be quite powerful. And the silver alongside with it, just because the silver doesn't hurt that much, and we might hit 5 naturally also. Now, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't open an Aristocrat, even though that's a card we want later. We probably can pick it up via a well-timed gather, but for that we should first get a few tea houses into the deck. And yeah, I don't know. So the strategy is going to involve tea houses, changes, aristocrats, gold mine. I don't think we're going for craftsmen and imperial envoys. Maybe a remodel, but I think change is just a little more flexible. Also to maybe turn 5 cost cards into provinces later. And maybe one or two artists, one or two gathers. I don't think sea trade will be a factor. I mean, Sea Trade and Enlightenment have this synergy that, of course, Enlightenment turns all of your treasures into actions, so you will be able to draw a bunch with Sea Trade. But then also Enlightenment makes it such that copper trashing doesn't become as impactful. So yeah, and these estates are going to be trashed out in no time, hopefully. So I don't think we are going to see trade here. AI does have the 5-2 opening, goes for Tea House and nothing, and we also get to put in a Tea House into our shuffle our silver misses, which is quite the pity because yeah, hitting 5 here over 4 would have been really, really good. But alas, I guess we just put in one more silver. This will give us a higher chance of hitting gather later on. And yeah, for now, we can just load up on tea houses. Hopefully find a change. Yeah, that's what I was on about. And do we want to pick up an artist? I don't think so. Also, nothing else seems super enticing. So we just go for those tea houses. Again, a pity we didn't hit 7 there, but yeah, here we get to go through a bunch of good stuff. Then we can just play those coppers, and the last card is a silver, so we might want to draw this and get to change into yet another tea house. Play those, okay, and can go for aristocrat, change, and another tea house. I just really like those tea houses at this point because they allow us to put so much money in that we can use for our changes. And yeah, especially having 6 of them is just feels really good. Let's see whether we can find the aristocrat and probably just turn those 2 silvers into something better. Or we just turn one of the silvers. I guess if we pay off this debt and get another gold mine or another change, we could gather again. However, that would mean that we miss out on any plus buy and on any artists for this turn, which should still be fine. So yeah, let's turn this into a gold mine, pay off the debt, and just gather again. Or do we just go for an artist actually and ensure that we draw next turn and we can change a copper into something better? I maybe I like this a tiny bit more. Just going for the artist for some draw with a very clean deck, and now these gold mines can pick up golds for us, which we're then guaranteed to draw up. And AI just turns a copper into a province, which is not that enticing, I would say. Now, it's a bit of a pity that we do not find the artist to draw us a proper amount of cards, and I shouldn't have played the gold mine actually just for that reason. But alas, yeah, the artist is literally the bottom card of the deck and will just draw 2 cards. But I guess that's fine. Or yeah, we even get to change a copper maybe into another change here. I mean, that this doesn't matter that much. It could also just be a gold, essentially turning this change into something. Well, this is even worth it, is the question. Could also just get rid of this other change, and then how much money would we have if we... I think I like getting rid of this change in favor of another gold. And now we can draw up. We'll have 9 money plus 4 minus 2 is 11, 12 money. Can gather and buy a 5 cost. That looks pretty good in my book. And our actions. And yeah, for sure go for the second gather, which probably just picks up silver, change, and gold mine. And yeah, we need to be a bit careful because we're kind of limited to 2 changes per turn. Actually, at this point, maybe a remodel might be better than a change because it doesn't give us the debt. Yeah, how about we pick up remodel and artist for some more draw? Hopefully the artist doesn't bottom deck again. It's great to see that AI there has to play its goals as the stuff for enlightenment. And yeah, we find these artists at an amazing time. I think we can go into some more debt and yeah, play this artist. Now we can play more tea houses or more coppers, actually more gold mine. Go into a lot of debt this turn and next turn start provincing aggressively. And yeah, now since we didn't yet find the aristocrat, we cannot play the change yet, but I would say we search for it and now get to play this change, get to draw here, draw up, and yeah, this remodel can turn one of the golds into a province, and we even have enough money to, in principle, province again, but that would leave 4 provinces which AI could use in principle, and also we could dud. So maybe it's better to just go for a gather with maybe a Ronin, such that we can possibly draw up off of like an aristocrat we play in the beginning, and just play this very safely. And I think I gotta take a quick break. Just a second, I will be right back. And I'm back, excuse this break, but yeah, we're back here with lots of cards we can put into play for our artist to draw. But actually, it might be fine to already play it right here. We need is 4 provinces this turn, which we should be able to achieve via change, remodel, and the other chain. No, two. We have two remodels now. So I think we play this gold actually, and then the Ronin just stays down there, and that means we can also put in a copper into play. Amazing, and yeah, this is quite good. Let's play all of those coppers. The gold mine should decline to gain gold at this point, and I really hope we don't have to play this Ronin, but it almost looks like it at this point. Decline. If we were to play Aristocrat, I mean, this is probably pretty obvious that we play this and then turn those golds into provinces. We're not quite there. We could turn this province into a province, this gold into a province, and this change into another province, though. We have just enough money to buy the last province and an estate. So in the end, yeah, this worked out, but it was a bit closer than I anticipated actually, and than I remembered. So 12 turns is fast, but yeah, I'm not entirely convinced of our strategy. Maybe we built a bit too big with too many artists and too many golds gained off the gold mines. But I like the agency that we had to be able to finish off the game with 4 provinces. And in the end, yeah, I don't think this worked out all too badly, but it was a tiny bit scary at the end that whether we would or would not be able to finish there. But also again, this artist missed the shuffle. Our first artist also missed the shuffle that we had earlier. So yeah, I don't know. It's a very interesting kingdom to be limited to your actions just like that. But with that, I think I will leave you here, and I will use this as a kickoff to the Rising Sun campaign series, and hope to be able to record the rest of the kingdoms in the coming few days. But yeah, for now, I will leave you here, and we'll try to catch you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.